Alrighty, project continues. The never-ending battle of shifting things around to have enough room to work in the basement because I have too much stuff. We are clearing off this old TV stand that I had, so I already took a bunch of stuff off. I should have packed all this up before I did anything down here because it's all covered in frickin' dust now. So GameCube, and kind of just shoved a bunch of stuff in here. Super Nintendo and my PS3, PS4, all that stuff. All the electronicas. We are not going to be using this stand again because the TV is obviously going to be wall mounted. So it's going to be temporary, but what I'm going to do right now just to get the TV out of the way is I'm just going to mount it. So I'm going to throw up the TV mount, get it on the wall here, kind of get a good idea of how it's going to sit there and if I need to adjust anything before like drywall and finishing and all that stuff goes on, so probably not a bad idea. And then we'll clear up a bit more space in here so that I can frame in all the ducting, bring out this wall a little bit. Once all this is framed up there, get the bathroom walled in, and then the last wall to go up will be the dividing wall between the utility room and the living room area. This drain that comes down here is actually coming from like underneath the washer area. It's just like an emergency drain, I guess. It comes down and comes right to the floor there, just open. So we're just gonna extend it. I'm just gonna cut that. We're gonna extend it across so that it can run down in the same area as that main drain, which will be utility room and closer to the drain. We've cut through and it is a crooked freaking cut. Nice. Just what we want to see. Let's grab that piece of pipe I have sitting over there in the corner and extend this puppy. Over here. I feel like I'm jousting. Oh, whatever. Just gotta use some glue. ABS cement. Alright, so now that there's no pipe coming down here, I'm pulling the poly off the walls, pull the insulation out, clean everything behind the walls, seal up any crack behind the walls, make sure that everything's seated good against the floor, see all that, and then I'll kind of re-put the insulation back in and new poly. Alright, so I might just rebuild this whole wall. It's literally like not even so shittily put together. Like, come on. Nice. Nice work that people do, huh? Just gotta fix everything myself. Even though I'm not the professional and I don't do this for my work. Like, how do you build something so shitty? I don't know. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna rebuild this. That's gonna be right against the shower anyways, so like probably redo it with the treated 2x4 on the bottom. I'm half contemplating swapping out that now too on that wall. There's literally like sound of water here. Don't really like that. But this is how loud the water drains from the window well drain into the sump when it's really melting outside. With the sump not even running, I really hope that I can soundproof this enough that it being in the bedroom down here isn't gonna be like the most annoying thing. Oh yeah, there. See, it kicked in. That's with it running. And then since it pumps it up and across and comes down to go past the joist and then back up and over to my main drain, it'll get like bubbles in there. As soon as it stops, it'll be all bubbly. Fun stuff. Alright, so now we are going to use this Acoustiseal stuff. Basically, it goes along the top 2x4 and the bottom 2x4, and I think if you're kind of splicing two sections of poly together somewhere, you can do that too. So we can seal it all up, and that's what we're going to do right now. Alright guys, we're gonna hop around a little bit more again. So, got all that acoustic sealant up, and then I threw up 2x4 support all the way along that wall. We'll build basically like a ladder, if we want to call it that. Same as we did for over here, to give you an idea. So we'll basically build like an inside ladder out of a 2x2 on either side with 2x4s horizontally through the center, and then we can just screw up that whole ladder afterwards. So we've got that side ready. So we'll do a bit of framing on this side, and then we'll build our ladders for across. And I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna do with like the entry area, because basically the way this is gonna go is the door is gonna be angled right here to go in, and then the wall will angle that way and across it again. So I'm trying to figure out my heights still for how I'm gonna frame all that in. But we're going to switch gears a little bit. This window is finally going to be done in the next week about. So I'm going to cut out the section of framing that we're going to need out of the way so that we can cut the concrete and put the bigger window in and all that. And then I'll just have to frame it back up afterwards. Alright, moving on to this wall. I've already got my treated 2x6s laid out. We're gonna widen up this wall a little bit so that it brings the toilet drain into the proper 12.5 inch spec from the rear wall. So the wall will line up better that way, and it will take care of like this drain sticking out past the wall and all this stuff, just to give more room. We're gonna cut the bottom of the nails on all these studs. They aren't supporting anything because this beam is supporting, and there's a 4x4 post in that corner supporting the LVL. But yeah, we're gonna cut those and get the bottom plate swapped out. Didn't realize my camera died. Just gonna anchor this guy in. Oh, it's 2 pieces because I had to split it because it's longer than 8 feet. But I'll just anchor those in. And then at least we have our bottom plate in and we can build the wall off of that.
You know, I don't even really know where to begin.
Alright, got pieces cut for the short section of wall that's going to go there. Lined up my bottom plates, had to adjust the way I had my door spacing because I wasn't leaving myself enough room for any trim or anything on the inside of the door. So had to adjust that a little bit and do some trickery to take a 2x6 and cut my angles to get it lined up with the bottom plate there. So we're going to throw it together and get the first little section wall up. This is going to go between the bathroom and the utility room.
I get ahead, I end up going 2 steps back. So tonight, I'm just gonna let this one ride. You know what I mean?
Getting the door frame all up now for the bathroom. I'm trying to keep it as tight as I can to this support post and the end of the LVL and everything here, just because limited on space and how far we wanted to angle across, and for me to still have clearance of the fresh air lines going to the furnace and all that. So in doing that, I've framed up like the standard door frame with like your king studs and your jack studs and then everything on the header. But I've had to trim down this side. I just took a Sawzall to it and matched what I had already pre-cut my my top plate at, and that will basically end up flush with the end of the LVL here. It's coming along. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Okay, so I'm pretty sure my camera ran out of storage the last time I was filming anything, and that was a few weeks ago. Kind of just have been busy and haven't had time to put much more work in, but at the end of my last clip, finished getting basically the door frame up to get into the bathroom, and then also framed up this section for the storage under the stairs. So that's all in there now. And then I've shifted stuff around because I've had new furnace replaced. So they came and ripped the old furnace out, threw in this fancy new one, got rid of the combustion air that was going all the way up here, and along with this other flex line all the way out that side. Got rid of that, so there's some more clearance now for my wall that wasn't there before. New humidifier went in, new like filter slot thing. It's way nicer, definitely. And then there was like a flex pipe that like came up in front of this before, like hung down and like teed into this chimney vent, but now the chimney vent is specifically just for the water heater, and this new furnace has the 2-pipe system going up and out over here. They made a couple penetrations and just siliconed it up, so like it looks like it's just open, but it is siliconed. It's just, I still don't really like it, so I'm gonna put some more insulation in that pocket and throw some spray foam around that big gap there. And we're gonna frame up this last section of wall. Still waiting on that damn window because my contractor's been a bit of a mess, but we'll see. Hopefully that gets done soon. in and around. Beautiful. Now I can just spray foam around the piping and seal it up. All right, so that's all sealed up now. And now that that's done, let's build the wall. Got this puppy up, and we're just gonna anchor it in now. I've restapped chalk line. It's a little bit faint, but then I got my handy dandy old 30 pounder holding this wall. A little bit of pressure that way. And just gonna anchor it down at the bottom and then remove my one temporary screw that I threw in at the top and then level the wall in. The bottom is where it needs to be, so once that gets anchored in, then we can level off of that and we'll be golden.